Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be messing around in a game room again. We're going to be taking a look at getting all the consoles wired in nice and neat. At the minute they all work, but my recording setup's really sketchy. I'm not happy with that. And the cables have just been thrown in basically to make them all work. So I want to get it all tidied up, all neatened out, and then we'll give it a bit of a testing. But yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So to start, we're going to have to pull it all out. So we've got a nice fresh start. They're all shifted. I've got rid of all the cables out of his way for now. So I want all the cables to be hidden along these joints basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to staple some of this stuff to the backs. This is like gardening twine. So basically what you tie your plants up to bamboo canes with. So pull a bit off. Or is it not when you start? Get rid of that bit because it's knackered. Yeah, I've used this method in the past. What we're going to do is we're going to pull a nice length of it off. Doesn't go mad, but you know, a decent length. And then we'll get a stapler and we'll staple them along these and along these. So for these 6 consoles, I want the cables to run this way and down to the underneath. This is the bottom. So that's what we'll do first. So we'll staple one here, like so. We'll do that all the way down here, probably about halfway from there across here. I won't bother with this bottom one because they'll just run straight underneath. So along here, down here. And then we'll do that on the other side as well. And then up the middle, up this one, don't know if you can see that in camera, but we'll staple all the way up that as well, because that's where the HDMI cables are going to come out to the big telly. So I'll get all them stapled in, and then we'll flip the unit the right way up, and we'll start putting some console wires in. Right, so that's all these, everywhere I can imagine I'll need them, and a bit more. So like for some consoles, say top up here, the NES, I know the cables are on the left, but I've run ties all the way along, just in case in the future I decide, you know what, I want all my Segas up at the top. Because the Master System, the cables come out on the other side of the console. So, everywhere I can think I'll need them, they've got them. So what we need to do now is start getting the cables, put the consoles back on the shelves, and start running the cables in, one at a time. So I'll show you running one in, and then we're just going to jump on and chuck them all in. And I'll show you it when it's finished. And just a quick one as well. All my cables, so I don't lose track of them, are all going to be labelled up with what they are. That's on the SCARTs and on the plug sockets. Because once they get down underneath the unit, I'm not going to be able to see what's what. So yeah, it's all against wall. I don't want to be able to trace. I'm not going to be able to trace them all through here. So they all need labelling. Yeah, I really am that anal. So let's get on with it. I'll leave a little bit of slack so I can pull the console out and stuff like that, but I'll leave a loop. And then that one, go straight into there, twist it. So I'll put a little twist tie around that just to get that nice and neat as well. I'll go around the front, make sure the console's where I want it on the shelf, and we'll just do that all the way. And we'll start twisting them all in, all the way along, until we've got everything where we want it. So I ain't all going in this shelf yet, so I don't need to leave this open for now. I can just carry on wiring them down. But if they were like the next shelf down, we've got N64 Master System, there's no point wiring these ones up. You might as well wait until all your wires are in place. Yeah, just leave a little bit of slack, so you can pull your console about and stuff like that. You'll regret it if you don't. And then these ones will all go down the same route down here, along with the mast system wires. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put all my consoles in place, get everything wired in, shove all cables underneath out of the way for now, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the finished product. I was going to say that's everything wired in, but I forgot. We've got another console, one that lives here, and one I don't know if it's going to bloody fit on the shelf yet. So, you ready for round 2 of Will It Fit? I ain't even got a clue how big this damn thing is. So I'll get it out of the box and we'll try slotting it in and we'll see. It's going to be tight if it does go. I really should have measured this one before I made this unit. Never mind, we'll see what happens. Are we ready, people? We have got a PS5. It's a slim edition. The smallest one you can get. It's looking good, to be honest. It's looking good. Let's see, let's see. Oh, look at that. Like a glove. Sweet. That was pure and utter fluke. Love it. Right, so that's all the consoles in place, TV in place, and all the cables looking lovely where we need them. I'll splice some footage in so you can see it front and back. But yeah, really happy with that. In the future, there'll be 2 more consoles on the bottom, but they will both run off HDMI, I imagine, so won't be a big issue. And there'll be 2 more consoles up at the top. They'll be retro, but I haven't decided exactly what I want. So, you know, they're down the line, way in the future. But until then, the next problem I've got is capturing the footage. So I like to record footage. I like to have gameplays on my channel, stuff like that. And currently, I'm using an Elgato. Captures PS3 lovely with the PS3 cable. And I can capture every single console running through my SCART switcher, converting it to HDMI, plugging it in there. Now, 2 issues with using an Elgato that I've come across. And neither of them are big issues at all. The first issue is, I don't want them on shore. I want them underneath with the rest of all my bits and bats. I don't want like them all set up along here. I don't like that. I don't want to see these. I just want to see the cable I need to plug in to my laptop to record footage. That's all I want to see. So, when you're running this with HDMI and the PS3 input, if I want to play PS3 on bypass on the TV, I need to disconnect the HDMI input. Otherwise it'll automatically go to HDMI. So I don't want to have to do that. Another issue is, this always needs to be powered to be used in bypass mode. So that means I'm going to have to constantly either have it plugged into my laptop, powered on, or I've got to switch it and plug it into a USB port somewhere. So I'm not going to be messing around constantly to power it on, so I can just use it to play on, or to power it on to record. And I don't want to do that, I don't want to mess about. I'm lazy. So the way I got around the first part of this, of having to switch between PS3 and HDMI, is I've bought another. Simple. I'll have one for retro, one for PS3. Nice and easy, no messing around. The next bit's a bit more difficult. I want to be able to have these powered on and not mess around, and then just plug something in when I want to record. I don't want to have to mess around going underneath here, looking for USB cables, pulling them out, messing around, pissing about. I don't like doing that. So I've got a switch, a USB switch, that'll switch between inputs. So I can have constantly running, and then flick a switch, and plug the lead in a laptop, and we're running off laptop power instead. I'm hoping it works, but I haven't figured out how I'm going to wire it up yet, like where I'm going to put the switches, stuff like that. So that's the next thing we're going to look at doing. Get these in place, wired up where we want them. And then it's just a matter of plugging all the SCART leads in, HDMI converter, and all the power. Job done. So let's get on with these. So these are the switches I've got. Let's say I don't know if they'll be any good. But basically the setup will be, this is the power supply, or the recording supply. So that will plug it into here. Get it out, try and find where it plugs into. So that'll plug into here. And then we'll have 2 cables coming out here. I believe this came with 2 cables. It did. So this one, probably on number 1, will be powered all the time. And then we'll have the other one sat there, conveniently placed somewhere up here, just behind the unit. And we'll be able to just take that out, plug it into the laptop when we want to record, and put it on switch 2. So that should be powered all the time then. And then we just plug whichever we want to record full time into these. So this one will be for PS3 on this side, straight out into the TV. And on the other side we'll have the retro HDMI cable coming through, straight out into another part on the TV. Jobs are good. What I need to do now is decide where in the hell I want to mount this out of the way. I'm actually thinking of putting it like on that shelf there behind the PS2 and just having the cable tied here somewhere, because I'll be able to get around back of here. There's going to be a hand width in there. Put it there maybe. Who knows? We'll get it all wired and we'll figure that out as we go. Right, so that's these switches into position now. I've not stuck them in place yet. I have got glue and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to order some Velcro because I want to be able to change them out if something goes wrong with them. So they're just going to go there, reach under, that's it. There is a gap here anyway when I've got it all back to the wall, so I'll be able to reach under there, get that. And this cable, I'm just going to have somewhere like that. I'll get that in its final position once I've got everything in place. I want to know how much room I need for my laptop, etc, etc. So that's it. Everything's wired in place. Same on the other side with other switch. So yeah, get some Velcro for them and they're done. Other than that, all the cables are exactly where they need to go. So now all I need to do is slide this unit back into position and connect everything up. Now, the last thing to show you is just these bits here. So for power, we've got 2 surge protected 8-way plugs. These have got USB ports on them too, so I can plug in any USB stuff. Nice and easy. And then I've got all my SCART cables over there, which will go into my switcher. Once they're all in place, I'll show you them. Quick note on power as well. There's a lot of stuff being plugged in up here, but this is an extension, and this room is on its own ring. So I've easily got enough power capabilities in here. Plus, they're going to be plugged in, but they're only going to be switched on when they're in use. So yeah, it'll be safe. Last thing to show you, I suppose, is the SCART switcher. So nice bit of kit. 10 in, 3 out. We've got 10 SCART in. It's RGB. We've got component out or 2 SCARTs out. At the minute, everything's running off SCART out. In the future, I am going to be using component out to go to the HDMI setup, but we'll talk more about that when I'm rigging that bit up. I'm daisy chaining basically my B&O SCART socket at the minute. So I've got SCART 1 will run to my B&O, it's daisy chained cable, so it's got 2 outputs, and the other one will run to a HDMI converter. Right, everything's wired. It looks a right mess under there, but it's actually quite tidy. Let's see if we can get onto this part here. So, capture card, HDMI in, comes from this little gadget here. SCART to HDMI converter, and that SCART runs into a daisy chain in this SCART block, and that's it. So it converts the SCART signal to HDMI, put through the Elgato, that can record it, and then that sends the signal up to the LED TV, so I can play all my retro on the LED TV. So yeah, quite a mess under there, but it's actually really tidy. Anyone who's had this many stuff wired up before will know it's impossible to have it look neat, but it is actually quite neat. This side's a lot better. Hardly anything under there really. We've just got another capture card under there for the PS3. and a plug socket. That's it. Same amount of stuff plugged in either side. And the only thing I do want to plug in extra on top of these is I want to plug some USB leads for charging PS3 and PS5 pads. So I want them running up to the top. So I'll get some longer leads. I ain't got any long enough at the minute. And then I'll get some charging stations at the top. But that's that. So hopefully you can see there, we've got everything running. So got NES running at the minute, because that's what I've been playing, Terminator 2. And it's running on all 3 TVs. And we're running it through the capture card on the laptop so I can record it. If I want to capture the PS3, I just switch the laptop over to that side. Job's a good one. Yeah, play on any TV, whichever we feel like. And that's it, all wired. So that's it for today, all wired in. Got it how I want it for now. I want to put some front panels on this just to cover them up. I haven't cut them yet. Been putting it off for ages. Time to get that done. And other than that, I'm done for now. So I do want to probably upgrade this setup a bit, but we'll worry about that in the future. Mainly the HDMI conversion. That converter's not the best. You do get a bit of a grainy image on the NES. The others are quite clear because they're RGB, but the NES is composite signal and it don't come through very good. So yeah, I am looking to probably go with OSSC. I was thinking about RGB Mini Frame Meister to convert it. It is a better system, but you do get some lag. And when you're playing old school games, lag can really kill you off really quickly. So I don't want that. So we're looking at upgrading that. I just want to make sure that whatever TV I get is compatible with OSSC first. So when I've got my big TV set up, we're looking at upgrading that setup. And then in the future, probably upgrade my NES. I want an RGB modded one. Same with the N64. And then I've got 4 spots to fill up. So yeah, quite a bit to come still. But that's it for now. I'm happy with this. So time to get on and get some games played. See you later.